What's up, Band Squad? Anthony Collins here. Welcome back to the channel. Now, this video will be a little personal. Well, not that personal, but it's going to be a story time video. This will be a video explaining my experience with Project Search now that Project Search is over. It ended yesterday, and I will say that it was bittersweet. And I'll save my overall thoughts for the end. So if you like this video, please hit that like button, please subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you can keep up with my weekly uploads, alright? Now, with that out of the way, let's get started. Now, you all might be wondering, what the hell is Project Search? Well, Project Search is a job training program for young adults like me who have disabilities. You know, like for example, I have ADHD, or yeah, like if you're someone who has ADHD, autism, OCD, stuff like that. It's basically a program there to help you. And really, I took Project Search because it was suggested to me by Logan. She actually said that Joey Regan took Project Search and he actually really liked it. And Malagazan suggested it to me too. So I was just like, well, why not? Let's just see how it goes. And I don't think I've ever had a job before except for that summer job I told you guys about one time at the Villages of Royal Oak. It was basically like a summer job I did last year. So I was willing to try it out because I didn't know that much about the work business. So I had to learn about professionalism, flexibility, and all that other stuff. So we started in August. That was when I met everyone, where I met Chris, the instructor, and Julie and Amy, who are the skills trainers. Then that's where I met my interns, Morgan Bartelt, Morgan Kleiner, Anthony Morgan, Kara Tolbert, and Jeremy White. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, there are two Morgans and two Anthonys in that program. One it was that Anthony that I told you about, and this handsome devil right here. And funny enough is there's two Morgans in the room, and Anthony's last name is Morgan. I've always found that funny, but there we were just adapting, we were just getting to know each other, we were just doing some basic class stuff, you know what I mean? So I would say that we started our first internship somewhere in October, I believe. Um yeah, so my first internship was the emergency center. It was in one area, and it was in the first floor of the North Tower. And I would say it was pretty good. I stocked blanket warmers. Um, I stocked the nurse servers, which are basically cabinets that are kept with gowns and fitted sheets and whatever. And I removed linen. Linen, if you guys don't know what linen is, it's basically trash for like used gowns and fitted sheets and all that stuff. It's all right. I didn't get it the first time either. And then later on, after that, I stocked the bedside carts in the patient rooms. I didn't know why I did it, but I did. And so, first of all, let's me just explain how this process works. So, first of all, we'll go in the hospital, um, into the main building, excuse me, and wait for Amy or Julie to come over, and then we will walk downstairs to our classroom. Then we will sanitize our tables. we would after that we would answer the email that Chris sends us. Chris would send us an email every day asking us what we did last night, biggest daily win, would you rather questions, quiz questions, etc., etc. And would you rather questions are basically um, asking for your opinion. For example, would you rather live in a yacht or would you rather live in an RV? That's one of the examples I could come up with. And then after that, he would Julie and Amy would take one of us to read our daily expectations. It's a common thing that we have to do every day. And speaking of which, Julie would only show up on Wednesdays and Thursdays and sometimes Fridays. Okay. Then afterwards, we would go to our internships, then lunch, then back to our internships. Then we go back to the classroom and then come up with daily wins, basically saying what's something good that happened to you. Doesn't even have to be in the hospital. So then we chat, then we go home. And we would also have game days as well. And unfortunately, I wouldn't be able to attend all of them because stuff goes on. I'm always busy. Yeah, you would know that I'm always busy. That's why I haven't been active on this channel. And so yeah, game days are fun. And there was a Christmas party where I tried some sparkling waters for the first time of uh in December 20th of last year. And I tried the sparkling waters and I didn't like it. And as for jokes, I tried it again. I made these faces. And they said it was unprofessional for some reason. But here's the problem. Parties are meant to be unprofessional. They're like, oh, it's a work party. No, no, no. Work and party do not belong in the same sentence. You don't mix them together. It's like peanut butter and bacon or, putting orange juice on your cereal. It doesn't add up. And I let it go when I was working with Steve. And by the way, Steve said I made him laugh. So at least I made some people laugh. And I was doing good until they brought it back up, and that's where I felt upset. And I was crying, and I didn't need to because, in my opinion, I personally felt like I didn't do anything wrong. My mom even said I didn't do anything wrong. So, but that was a long time ago. A lot of these events are from a long time ago. I'm just explaining this to you guys because this is a story time video. And then after our Christmas break, sorry, my throat's a little dry. And so from I would say September, no wait. Yeah, September to December was our first internship. After our first internship and after Christmas break is our second internship, in which my second internship was distribution. Sorry, y'all. So distribution is actually, hold on a second. Had to get some water. Gotta stay hydrated. Wait, better yet. All right, that's better. Anyway, so distribution I found was actually better than emergency center because unlike emergency center, there's a lot much to do. I could not only stock, but I could also go on runs. And going on runs is just the hospital way of saying going on deliveries. So saying if they need an isolation cart, saying if they need like walkers or whatever, you'll go to that room. And these rooms have 4 digits in it. The first digit would be the floor. The second digit would be the tower it's in. So like North Tower, East Tower, Central Tower, and the last 2 digits are the room number. And so initially I just stocked. I went on runs, but I didn't go on runs solo at first because the hospital is just so big, you know what I mean? So it would be very easy to get lost. And I will say I met some awesome people at distribution, wonderful people to talk to. I've talked about food, I've talked about movies, I've talked about WWE wrestling. And Andrew is a pretty huge wrestling fan, so it was really fun to talk to him about it. And one time I was going to go on a run by myself because I felt like I was ready, but it turned out I wasn't ready, so I ran into Julie and Amy, and I was upset because I thought I was ready, but no, I wasn't. And it, I was upset at first, but was fine because the hospital is pretty easy to get lost. So I felt better and I just moved on. So with plenty more practice, I eventually went on runs on my own, and it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. I actually learned pretty quick. However, I will say the one thing I don't like about distribution is having to get in. Excuse me. And what I mean by that is, in order to get into the room, it's badge access. So you can't just open it like that. And you had to. So before they switched to the back, I had to ring the doorbell to the front and they would let me in. But because they moved to the back, I had to knock on the door, wait for them to let me in. And what's worse is that they said that they would give me badge access, but I didn't get it, and I never did. Never did get badge access. But again, it's not a huge deal. Just something I just thought I'd say. And and yes, Steve. Steve's a great buddy. Steve is really good. Andrew, Laney, um, Sandy will sometimes get stressed, but I don't have a problem with her. And distribution is just really easy to it's more fun than emergency center because there's just so much to do. However, I will say that sometimes when there's not many runs to go on and there's not many things to stock, it is pretty hard to stay busy, and you kind of have to until it's time to go back. So it's a challenge, but I always found it a way to hold on. Be right back. Hey guys, I'm back. And now, where I was going with this, I want to talk about monthly meetings. So, monthly meetings are basically meetings that your parents come to, and Chris will go over how you've been doing throughout the internships. They'll go over your strengths, your weaknesses, your job task, or and whatever. And I don't think there's been a single monthly meeting where I've been upset. I've actually enjoyed all my monthly meetings for what it's worth, you know? And you know, when when we would when second when the second internship ended, I was actually quite sad because I've actually enjoyed my time at distribution. I enjoyed going on runs, stocking, having conversations and stuff like that. It was probably the most active of the sites, at least to what I've been doing. Um, and we would practice scripts from time to time at Troy. So before then, we would practice and then we would present our scripts. And I know I'm just going out of order. Um, my brain is still processing, so there you go. Um, so there's two parties that I went to. I went to Morgan K's um cookie party, and it was good. And I went to excuse me, and I went to Morgan B's birthday party. Her birthday was last month on the 7th, so I went to her party on the weekend, and it was great. We watched Mean Girls, started watching Mean Girls, and for what I've seen, it was actually pretty good. And when it comes to lunchtime, me, my interns, and Caden is the one that works in the kitchen. He's worked at a Project Search before, and he graduated before us. So we would have talks about movies and all that stuff. And Morgan K has always felt uncomfortable around Caden. It wasn't always like this, but when he asked her, "Do does she want to go to Coyote Coyotes or whatever?" I forgot what the name is, but it is a burger place, and apparently she was thrown off by that, and I don't necessarily blame her. And it's because he has secretly he has a crush on her. I will be nervous, but I'm not that nervous. I'm not gonna see him again, so what does it matter? But anyways, um, so because of that, because she wanted to keep her distance from Caden, she would sit with Julie and Amy and Chris, right? Eventually, I would join them because I don't know. I just don't want to deal with Caden anymore either. And whenever Caden talks to her, she just looks at me like this. I'm like, I'm like, you're gonna have to tell him how you feel. I know this is gonna hurt, but you're gonna have to tell him. I didn't tell her that, but I I just didn't know why she kept doing it after so many times. Like it was it was funny at first, but now it was getting old. Um, Now I want to get to third internships. So I've been, yeah, the middle's been mumble jumble. But anyway, third internships, the last internship is 8 North. So 8 North is the eighth tower, and basically it's in the title, 8 North. So what I do there is fill up waters and make night kits and remove linen and sanitize. Oh wait, stock blanket warmer, stock the warmers that has wipes in them, and and sanitize WoW carts and I sanitize machines. Um, I used to do railings, sanitizing the railings in the family lounge, but it's just for the sake of time that I don't do those. You know what I mean? And but 8 North was actually probably my second the first internship was probably my least favorite. I don't know. I don't know. I'll think about that later on, but I just think that when it comes to 8 North, it's a lot harder to stay busy because the site is a lot shorter. And, initially I had a hard time doing that, staying busy, but Amy um, just said that I could sanitize high touch points and other stuff like that. So, okay. Anyway, it was so sorry. The this, my family does shout a lot. And Julie and Amy introduced me a new task in the room where I would go into patient rooms. So first of all, you gotta sanitize and then put gloves on before you get in, and then you check the linen, and then you throw the gloves away. Then afterwards, you gotta sanitize again. Um, so when it comes to how I do linen, how I would do linen is basically if the linen is half full, I and the linen is, halfway full, I combine that piece of linen, that bag of linen, and that linen together. I remove the linen from that bag and put it in the other bag. And so it would make it fuller. That's how I usually do it. Even in emergency center, that's when I would do that too. Um, so now what I was doing was I removed all the linen from patient rooms the whole first hour before lunch. Then afterwards, then after lunch I would fill up waters. I would make night kits, remove stop the nutritional pantry. Oh yeah, the nutritional pantry, by the way, that's another task. Um so usually for the most part I would just stock cups because there wouldn't be that much to stock. So I would stock the pantry by, say for example, there's some orange juices and apple juices, and the bins for those said juices look halfway empty. I would stock them. Or the cups, say if the cups were almost gone, I would stock the cups, right? So I would do that. So Basically, yeah. First hour, um, remove the linen from all the patient rooms. But if if a room has a stop sign, you don't go in. Or if there's a doctor, you don't go in there. Um, so yeah, remove linen, fill up waters, make night kits, stock nutritional pantry, stock blanket warmers, stock wipe warmers, sanitize wild cards, sanitize machines, and then check the isolation carts as well. That's what I would do as well. My least favorite thing about 8 North is believe it or not, it's the waters. Now, the waters is kind of fun to do, but there's just two problems with this. One, whenever whenever I would fill up a water too high, the cup will just be leaking, and I hate that. But the bigger problem is half of the time when I would be doing the waters, they take the waters and I'm not even done yet. So say if I was like, at 7, they'll just take the waters, two waters, then I'll have to then that would be 5. So it would take the whole minute to do waters. So that's just a nitpick. And now comes the end of the year celebration where we celebrate our last times together. So it's basically the same room where we had our holiday party, and fortunately Julie couldn't be there. She actually had to leave earlier than us because she was having surgery, and I I might have my issues with Julie, but at the end of the day, I cannot be grateful for her because she's helped me. They all do. And I just have a weird way of showing people that I appreciate their help. So it could be irritating, but at the end of the day, I do still appreciate everything that they do. And I'll say more about it later. Um, so Morgan K was kind of annoyed with Kaden because she was playing with her water bottle, and then Kaden tries to call Morgan K unprofessional. I was like, I didn't say anything, but yeah. So there you go. At the time, before then, I was feeling pretty depressed about. I'll save why I was why I've been gone later on. So I actually want to say that as well. Um, then we will practice our scripts for for the end of the year celebration. I mean, the one we did was a party. This one is going to be a celebration. And basically, before the actual day came, we would go to Troy, not the same building that we would do the other. Hold on. All right. Anyway, as I was saying before, I was so rudely interrupted. We would go inside, not our room where we would present our scripts, but it's another area that we actually met Chris and see what Project Search was going to be. So we went there. We would practice our scripts. We would, practice and see how it would turn out. Like we had to set up. We couldn't like slouch down or whatever. So we had to sit up like this. And oh, by the way, I want to talk about mock interviews because because this is job training, we're also gonna have some mock interviews, right? So, we would go to a place where we would practice the mock interviews. So before that, Chris would practice mock interviews with us almost every day. And I feel like I pretty much nailed it. I feel like I killed it. I feel like I was confident. Um, and they seem to think so too, because I got more positives than negatives. There's probably only like 6 negatives I could point out. Um, I don't remember right now. All I know is that there are more positives than negatives. That's all you need to know. But back to you know, the presentation. Um, June 4th was my last work day. Then on June 5th, we would have the celebration. And I had a ball. Miss Dean was there, Barbara Dean was there, Miss Gazan was there, my mom and dad were there, and I'm just super happy that I presented my script out loud in front of people. And, I just feel like I had great um, voice volume, right tone. Unfortunately, Julie couldn't make it to that either, so what are you gonna do? And, you know, that seemed like that was gonna be the last day, right? Wrong. Our last day was actually yesterday, June 6th. And coincidentally, that's the same time um, the Phineas and Ferb, the new Phineas and Ferb season came out. And that was when the Carter 6 came out. I do plan on making a reaction videos of those two eventually. I don't know if it'll be anytime soon, but we'll see. Um, First, I gotta move out. Um, you see, I have people interrupting me, stopping me from my video process, and I do plan on doing a react album reaction of the Carter 6. It will be my first ever album reaction that I ever do. So there you go. Um, Now where was I? So me and Miss Kazan had a picture together. Um, I posted a lot of pictures about the celebration on Instagram and it got the most likes, probably one of the most likes on Instagram. But anyway, on June 6th, right, was our final day. We took out the calendars, we removed the bins, we all went out to Red Robin before uh before it was time to go to meet up with the Troy interns once and for all. Before that, excuse me, I went to distribution to say goodbye to my fellow friends. I went to A North to say goodbye as well. And yeah, like Linda is really nice. She's very nice. The road needs more nice people, you feel me? But anyway, we went to Red Robin. I ordered the honey I ordered the barbecue boneless wings. The honey barbecue boneless wings are my favorite. And yesterday I went to not yesterday, but the day before yesterday after the celebration, me and my mom would go out to Applebee's and I will get the boneless wings and the shrimp along with that and we'll relax afterwards. But back to June 6th, aka yesterday. Um Me and Chris will have a a great talk about movies and food and all that stuff and opinions and all that. Um, so after Red Robin was done, we went back to the classroom. We played a game, and the game it was a game that Morgan K bought, by the way. Shoot, where was it? It was called Tapple. And I say I was pretty good at it, and it was my first time playing. So it was our last day. I had to give unlimited hugs because I'm never gonna see him again. I'm probably never gonna see him again unless it's game day. Chris says you're still welcome to come to game day, and I just gotta see when I'll be available to do it. You know what I mean? Again, I probably won't make it to every game day, but we'll see how it goes. And I gave a lot of hugs. I'm gonna miss them, and I got every one of their numbers. We're gonna be still in touch. I got Chris's phone number, I got Amy's phone number, I got Julie's phone number, and we're all still gonna be in touch regardless, no matter where we are. So, and that's basically where it comes down to when it comes to the project search. And I just want to say I am so happy that I took this program. It's taught me a lot. It introduced me to a lot of people, and I will never forget that. And if I could stay forever, I probably would. Probably, probably not. But it is what it is. We all gotta, we start and then we move on. That's the way it goes. That's it. And while I'm here, I want to show you guys the the awards I received. Oh, okay. First of all, first and foremost, I received my family of friends CPR certificate of participation awarded to Anthony Collins, June 5th, 2025. Okay. Next, I received hold on. Okay. Anyway, camera's a little blurry. But okay, I just had to lean to the side. Anyway, I received my certificate of completion presented to me, Anthony Collins, aka me, Troy School District, Corwell Health, Royal Oak, on June 5th. And last but not least, I received my diploma, my high school diploma from Groves. Check this out. And they said I wouldn't get my diploma after I graduate out of high school. They said I would get it after Project Search was completed. So, yeah, I got my diploma right here. And Chris also wrote me a letter as well. And I'm gonna read it. Guys want to hear it? Yeah, I knew you would. All right, so it says, Anthony, I first off want to thank you for allowing Amy, Julie, and I to work with you this year. I know I speak for them when I say it was our pleasure. You were always the first one to greet me in the morning with a smile on your face, and can't tell you how great of way that was to start my workday. Your engaging and entertaining personality has impacted many people's lives and will continue to do so throughout your life. Any future friend, coworker, or stranger you come into contact with will be better off for it. The world needs more people like you. You have many strengths and special qualities inside you, but none more important than your attitude. Any employer would be lucky to have you as an employee. I will miss our daily chats about music, movies, impressions, tier list, food, and of course, would you rathers. Your opinions, insight, and discussion points were always appreciated, and I will always cherish the talks and many laughs we shared. I truly wish you nothing but the best in the future. I have only I may have only been your teacher for a year, but if you ever need anything in the future in the area of employment, I am only an email, call, or text away. Wherever you go and whether you face in life, try to remember wherever you go and whatever you face in life, try to remember one of the quotes we talked about all the time in the program. There are keys. There are three key ways to unlimited success in life. Be kind, and be kind, Mr. Rogers. Good luck with everything in the future. Stay positive, keep moving forward, and stay in touch. Sincerely, Chris Evans. Chris. I don't want to get emotional, but that was just such a great letter. And so yeah, I'm just very grateful for Project Search. And I know some people might be wondering, would I ever consider working at a hospital? Well, probably not. I don't regret doing what I did, but I can't see myself working at a hospital. I just don't think it would be the right fit for me. Um, I could if they need me, but I think I'm just gonna stick to working at a store or whatever. And so before I sign off and before I head out, I want to say I am very sorry. I am very sorry that I was gone almost the whole month. Last month, I posted a short the last day of last month. And I did tease that reaction video. Don't worry, I'm working on it. Um, I just gotta find out how to get it out, because I do want to post it and I have a lot of ideas I want to do. I have, I want to do some reaction videos. I want to do some streaming again. And by the way, if you haven't followed me on Twitch, please consider doing so. I do plan on doing it again, even though I don't stream often. I want to do album reactions, I want to do gaming reactions and all that stuff. I just have a lot I want to do, and I want to do more. I just want to do more stuff. So, and by the way, I've been upset and depressed because on Discord, people were giving me shit, and I've talked to a lot of people about it. They just say the reason why they do it is because, well, they're scared. They say all this stuff behind their keyboards because they can't actually say it to real life, so they're just hiding in the shell within themselves. So, yeah. So, I think I think I pretty much said everything I needed to say at this point. Um I'm so thanks for watching this video. I really appreciate it. It really makes my day to have people come up to my videos and comment and like and whatever and be involved in whatever I do. So, yeah, if you like this video, please hit that like button. Please subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss another one of my uploads. And yeah, that will be it for me. My name is Anthony Collins. And until next time. That's all, folks. Peace out.